And about 30% of all emissions in Singapore, CO2 emissions in Singapore, is from electricity production.
Wow.
So we actually burn that much of liquefied natural gas and then produce so much of CO2.
Hey Tribe, Stephanie Dixon here for Green is the New Black TV, your guide to conscious living in Asia. Today we are chatting with Sivakumar, the co-founder of Environmental Solutions, and we're going to be chatting about what it means to be carbon neutral, why it's important, and how it affects us right here in Singapore. Siva, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Stephanie.
So tell me a little bit about the brand ES Power and your journey with it.
Well, we started this company, Environmental Solutions, in 1999, and we have been in the sustainability business for all this while. And then we only had very large MNCs and a niche group of customers. And then we wanted to move this forward to consumers and consumers, so we branched into electricity retail.
Yeah, and so we'll talk a little bit more about how it all works. But first of all, I'd love to understand a little bit about what excites you about your work and what makes you really happy to get out of bed in the morning.
What really excites me is no 2 days are the same. Every day we're doing something new, something exciting, and there's no boundaries to ideas. A lot of things that we thought about on a piece of paper about a year ago, it's all coming to reality.
And it's an amazing feeling, isn't it, when that idea from paper gets actually converted into reality. I love that.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And so fossil fuels and electricity, energy, right? This is what you're into. This is what your company does. It's all about electricity and energy for ES Power. So what is the impact of that on the planet and also in a Singapore context?
The fossil fuels has been the main source of energy for electricity production. So now in Singapore we use the cleanest form of fossil fuels, which is LNG gas. But however, it's still a fossil fuel. It's from the ground. And about 30% of all emissions in Singapore, CO2 emissions in Singapore, is from electricity production. So
wow.
we actually burn that much of liquefied natural gas and then produce so much of CO2, and that's just purely for electricity consumption in Singapore. So in a global context, electricity is a major component for CO2 emissions or greenhouse emissions.
Yeah. So can you explain to me then a little bit about when we're talking about carbon neutral, what does that really even mean?
Very simplistically, if you are a user of electricity, no matter who you are, where you are, if the source of electricity is from fossil fuels, there is an amount of CO2 that you are producing indirectly because of your consumption. You might not actually see it, but indirectly, some factory, some generator is actually producing this CO2. So the big boys can set up wind farms, hydro farms, solar panels, but not everybody can do that. So if you can't actually do that, so you might have to be part of the carbon neutral program. Basically, you are actually buying the green attributes from one of these projects somewhere in the world, and then offsetting your entire carbon footprint and becoming zero carbon emission.
Okay, so by selecting carbon neutral energy or being carbon neutral, we're basically offsetting the footprint that we have with our energy.
Exactly.
Okay, so further than just the environmental impact, which we understand now is really amazing, ES Power also has a social heart. So maybe you can share a little bit about the philanthropic initiatives that you're doing.
Microphilanthropy is something very close to our heart. So we have gone out to many social institutions, churches, temples, homes for young kids. And then we offer them rock bottom prices, something which is reserved for very, very large corporations. And then we put them on our micro-philanthropy platform, which actually showcases them, so they can actually tell the world what they are all about. And then we put their bill on the website and allow anybody to offset their bill, as little as $5. And we hope that if enough people actually contribute, they can actually have a very, very low bill or even zero. And we want to extend this to the one-room homes very soon. So we feel that in the near future, when the market is totally liberalized, there's going to be a social injustice. The bungalows will enjoy huge savings, and then the one-room flats most likely are going to be ignored.
I think that's really inspiring. So I'm just so excited that not only are we looking at the environmental impact, but you really have this very strong social heart and really hoping to change the lives of many Singaporeans. It's beautiful.
Thank you very much.
So what would be some little green steps that you can advise our wonderful viewers so that they could live more consciously or maybe reduce the carbon footprint of their homes?
It's actually very difficult for individuals to make a huge impact, but collectively as a nation we can make a huge impact to sustainability. So carbon neutral electricity program is one of the ways that you can reduce the carbon footprint, but then you can also recycle, you can reduce your consumption of electricity, consumption of whatever you're using, reduce wastage. I think every bit counts, so I think we should all try to do everything that we can do to make this world a better place.
Yes, high five to that, I love it. And what would Mother Nature say if she could speak right now?
She would say, clean up after yourselves, man. So I think we have to leave the world a cleaner place than we actually inherited. I think we are all here for just a short span of time. I think it's just borrowed space. So we inherit it, we live it better than we inherited it, and then pass it on to the next generation. So I think that's what she would say.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing, and thank you for watching. I hope you learned something today so that you can live more consciously tomorrow.